Hi, in this video I'll be showing you this. It's the Indesit IWC81251, or the sister model, the IWC71252. And what I want to do today is to show you around the washing machine, some of the features and benefits that it offers. But just before we start, all I'd normally say is please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just give us a quick thumbs up. What I do is I'll talk about things like household appliances, like this, vacuum cleaners, there's normally a bit of tech in there as well. So just give us a quick subscribe, then we'll carry on. So before you consider buying this washing machine, or any washing machine actually, what you need to do is you need to make sure it fits. So first of all, the width on this washing machine is 59.5 centimeters, or just under 23.5 inches. The height, which they tend to be pretty standard, that's around 84 centimeters or 33 inches. And the depth, so this is the main thing that can vary. Because this is the 8 kilogram washing machine, then they can be a little bit deeper than standard. So if you're measuring to the very front here, so if you're just going to the lip from the very back, then you're looking at around 56 centimeters or 22 inches. If you do need to include the door as well, then you're looking at 59 centimeters or just over 23 inches. I did mention at the beginning of the video that I'm covering two models. There's the IWC81251 and the IWC71252. To be fair, there's not really much point in doing separate videos for these models because the main difference is the load size. So on this model, the model that I'm covering today is the 8 kilogram, as it shows there. With the IWC71252, the main difference with that one is it's a smaller 7 kilogram load. But apart from that, all the programs and everything I show you are basically the same. So the machine itself is very easy to switch on. All you do is you just press the on and off button. That's quite clearly labelled in the middle here. The program underneath, that's where you select the different programs. You can turn it either way. As you can see on the left hand side here, on the soap drawer itself, all of the programs are on the front there. I must say I do like the way that Indesit lay the machine out. It's not a standard feature now. Quite a few other brands, what they do is they will have a plain soap drawer and all the programs are listed around the dial. But to be honest, I still like the way they do this. So just to take you through some of the programs, the first one is the white. Now I suppose something to bear in mind is that one downside of the machine is that it's not got a display on it, so you can't actually see how long the duration of the program is. That's something that we're trying to mention to people when they're buying this machine, or any machine without a display. It's not just this one. Some people are not really fussed, but other people do like to know how long each program is. Within the instructions you do get this, so you've got a really good guide as to how long each program is. You've got the recommended load sizes, the amount of water that it uses, so that's a really good guide that does come with the machine. But as I say, this one is the first one, so it's the white with this program. So this is quite an intensive program. This is mainly designed for the higher temperatures, so this is designed for between 60 and 90 degrees. Now when I say these varying temperatures, you've got the temperature control just on the right hand side here. So what you can do is you can alter it between 90 degrees and you can turn it all the way back round to 20 degrees, so you've got a good range of temperatures. Also you have got the option for no temperature, so what that will do is that will just wash in the temperature of the water that it's arriving into the machine. And also just to the right of that you have got the spin speed option, so you can vary that between 1200 down to 400, so again a good range of spin. And also you can select the no spin option at the top there. Just going back to the temperature, what I'll do is I'll cover some of the programs and the different temperatures that they can wash at. So the next one, so the second program, is called Mixed Colours. This is really designed at a lower temperature, so this is a maximum of 40 degrees. Now something to bear in mind, and I didn't mention on the first program, is that the temperature that you select is very much dependent on the program. And what I mean by that is if I selected, say, the Mixed Colours, and if I turn it around to 60 degrees, the maximum temperature for this wash is only 40. So even if you select one of the higher temperatures, then it will only wash at the maximum of 40 degrees. So it's got that built in, which is very good. The next one is the synthetics. and this is again between 40 and 60 degrees that you can wash this. What I should have mentioned is that the first two programs, so number 1 and 2, you can wash at a full 8 kilograms. Now I know a lot of people will assume that a lot of these programs you can put a full load in, but that is not the case. It's something I try and point out to customers, that a lot of the programs nowadays are designed for smaller loads, and this is one of those examples that on this program here, this is a maximum load of 4 kilograms. Wash times are very important. What you'll find is that the timing of the wash are quite a bit longer. So if you've had a washing machine for say 5-10 years, then you'll find the time or the duration of each wash can be a little bit longer, especially as you come over to some of the eco programs. Just to give you an idea, so on the first one you're looking around 2.5 hours. The second program is around 2 hours, and on this program you're looking around 3 hours. So 3 hours for a 4 kilogram load, is quite a long time. As you come around to number 4, then you've got the cotton program. So this would normally be quite a popular option, because this is between 40 and 60 degrees. What you will find is that the wash times will vary a little bit. So if you put a full load in, then on this particular program, then that could take around 3.5 hours up to 4 hours on that one. But if you put a smaller load in, then what it will do is it will actually detect that it's a smaller load, and it will actually reduce the time. There are options over here that you can reduce the time on the program, but I'll cover those in a moment. As you come around here, so program 5 is the delicate program. That's for 30 degrees. So that's really for, as it says, delicate items, and that's a maximum load of 1 kilogram. I won't cover all of the programs, go through everything. You've got things like the Woolen Program, which again is for your woolen items, so things like your woolly jumpers. As you come around here, you've got things like the Rapid 20. So that program is just for 20 degree wash, so it's a very low temperature wash, and with that one you can wash up to 1.5 kilograms. That one you can only spin up to 1,000 spin, so even if you select the 1200, then it won't spin at that, it will only spin at the maximum of 1,000 spin. That's really designed as a very quick wash, and that's a 20-minute wash. So for example, if you've been swimming, if you just want to give everything a quick wash or a freshen up, then that kind of program is very good. It's not designed as a full wash by any means. And when I say the maximum load on these machines, so on that one, on the Rapid 20, you're looking at 1.5 kilograms. So what will happen is if you put a full load in there on a 1.5 kilogram wash, a couple of things will happen. Either it will take a lot longer than standard to wash, or the washing performance itself won't be that great. So I'd recommend having a read through the instructions. I know it's very unmanly to have a look through the instructions first of all, and read how to operate the machine, but it's certainly something I'd recommend doing. As you carry on round, so you've got quite a few of the sports programs. So if you're a sporty person, then there could be the machine for you. You've got sport intensive, sport light, and then sport shoes. You can pop your shoes in here if you want to. But some of these other programs, so one I will point out is the Eco 40 to 60. This is really designed for clothes to go into the machine that you can wash between 40 and 60 degrees. Now this machine this wash is it's quite a long wash. So if you wash a full load at 8 kilograms, then you're looking around 3.5 hours. But what you will find is the actual water consumption on the program is very low. You're only looking around 53 litres, which is actually very good. I've not mentioned the litre consumption on some of the other programs, but around the sort of 50 litre mark is very good for a full load wash. As you come round, you've got the 20 degree. So with that one, again, you can wash 8 kilograms at the maximum 1200 spin on here, and with that's around 1 hour 50. You've got other options on here. So something we do get asked about quite often are things like rinse and spin. So if you've hand washed something, just pop it into the machine to rinse and then spin, you've got that option as well, or just to spin and drain. So that's another good option. If you've hand washed something and you don't really need to rinse it, just pop it in here to spin and drain, and then you can go through the process. And with those ones you can select the 1200 spin if you want to. Now I'll cover some of the programs. I'll mention about these other options here. First one is the time saver. I have mentioned that some of the programs here are quite long. Now for some people you've not really got time for around 2.5 to 3 hours for a full wash. So what you can do on certain programs, you can enable the time saver option, and clearly it will only work on some of them as approved, so it doesn't work on all of them, so you couldn't do it on the white program. But if you want to select the mixed colours, then you can enable the time saver. So on this particular program, as standard it's around 2 hours. They don't give you a definitive time that it will reduce it by, but what it will normally do is it will normally cut around half to a third of the time off, so it could reduce it to around an hour or just over an hour. So that, I suppose for a lot of people that's a lot more acceptable, but as I say, it's not available on all of the programs. So the next option on here, called the energy saver, what this will do is this will actually stop any of the heating of the water that's coming into the machine. So it doesn't matter what temperature you select, what it will do is it will cut all of this out, and it will only wash in the temperature of the water that's coming into the machine. Now this can be really good for energy saving. And again, it's not on every program. You'll find on some programs that you can't enable that. The next option on here is called extra rinse, and what this will do is this will actually add an extra rinse onto the program. So if you've got somebody in the household that suffers with things like allergies or sensitive skin, then that can be a really good option for you. And the next option on here is the delay timer, and what you can do is you can actually delay the start of the program by either 3, 6, 9 or 12 hours. So if you have got things like economy 7 where you've got cheap electricity during the night, then that could be something to look out for. Just while I'm down here on the right hand side, I did mention earlier that you haven't got a display, so you don't know whereabouts in the program the machine is. But what you have got down here is you have actually got a progress indicator. So as well as being the time delay on the right, then you'll know roughly where it is in the wash. So whether it's doing the washing, whether it's doing the rinsing or the draining towards the end, then it just gives you a rough idea. When it's finished at the end, then it will light up here. This is the start button, so you've got start and pause. The reason they put pause on it as well is because if you start the machine, if you realise that you've got a spare sock on the floor that you've forgotten to put in the machine, then what you can do, rather than just turning it off, then you can just pause the machine and then open the door and then pop the sock in, and away you go. What we'd normally say is if you do get to the stage where the machine has started to fill and you've got water within the machine, just leave the sock for the next wash, because what you don't want to do is to empty that just for the sake of 1 or 2 socks. So as you open the door on this, you'll see it's quite a nice easy grip handle. There's nothing fancy about it. You just pull the door and it opens, clearly as it should do. What I'm pleased to see is that Indesit is still using metal hinges and door catches. So just here you've got, these are still metal. I know quite a few of the cheaper brands are going towards plastic hinges and door catches, and must admit I'm not really a fan of those, because I know in a fairly short space of time they can break, so that's a really good sign. As far as the porthole, so on this one it's around 28 centimeters or 11 inches wide. It's not the biggest on the market, but I must say it's still a good size, because what you don't want is that there's nothing worse than having a really tiny porthole when you're putting your clothes in or taking them out, especially, because what you can find is if it's too small, then you miss the odd sock that gets tucked around the corner here. So as we go into the soap drawer, it's quite a standard layout. So you've got the main wash, pre-wash, conditioner in here. Something we do get asked a lot about is how to take the soap drawer out on these machines. I must admit it's not that easy. What you need to do is you just need to give it a gentle pull to take it out, so it can be done. What we'd normally recommend is if you just want to hand wash it, then that's okay, just wash it in hot soapy water. Some people want to give it a really good clean inside a dishwasher, and what you're normally better to do is to take the front off. So take this part off of the the soap drawer. That just unclips at the front here. You will find, as I'm getting here, some residual water. That's from where the machine is tested in the factory. But just take the front off if you want to pop it in the dishwasher. What you don't want to do is you don't want to wash this at a high temperature in the dishwasher. A couple of reasons. First of all, it's quite a nice glossy finish at the moment, and also you don't want to wash the programs off the front. So, and then to put it back in, just give it a gentle nudge and then you're ready to go. Now everybody knows that before you put your clothes into your washing machine, then you should empty your pockets. I know it's not always the case, so if you do get any coins or anything that are trapped within the filter, then I'll just show you how to take the front panel off, because the filter is on the right hand side here. So what you'll need to do is just have a look underneath. There are 3 points. I know you won't be able to tell from there, but there are 3 points which you can tell there are the 3 lugs. Well, it's just there, one there, and then one on the right hand side here. So what's recommended is that you just pop a screwdriver in there. Just be really careful, because you can find that you can break the tabs off quite easily if you manhandle it. But once you've taken that off, then as I show you, you've got access to the filter just on the right hand side here. Just make sure you open this when the machine isn't in operation. If you do open it while it's working, then to be fair, you're going to get very soggy feet, and you'll probably get a very wet floor as well. And then to pop this back on, so once you've cleared whatever's in there, then all you do is you just locate it back at the bottom there, and that just clips back into place, and then you're ready to go. I'll just show you the engine label on this machine. As you can see here, it's saying an average rating of F. Now what I'm trying to do at the moment is I'm trying to point out that an F rating isn't as bad as you think. I know some people are looking at it, well, if A is the best and G is the worst, then F can't be that great. But what I'm saying is that in March 2021, all of these energy labels were redesigned, so it depends really when you're watching this video. But a lot of the current machines are around this sort of level. They do go from sort of D, E, F, around those sort of areas. So don't be put off by that, because it's still not bad for energy efficiency. As you go towards the bottom, you can see here that it's saying that it's got 48 litres for an average wash consumption. It does say 3.5 hours. That's not clearly for every wash, that's on the eco wash. Now when we talk about eco washes, a lot of people assume that economical is going to be quick, but that's clearly not the case. Economical means that it will use little water and electricity. Just showing that on this particular machine it's an 8 kilogram load, and then it's showing that it's got 79 decibels, and then it's a B efficiency for the spinning. When it comes to installing the washing machine, it is very easy. The first thing you have to do with this machine and with any washing machine is to remove the transit bolts. There are 3 bolts here that you need to take out, and what these do is these will actually hold the drum steady while it's moving around and in transit. What we normally recommend is as soon as you get the machine that it's unpacked, say if it's going into your kitchen or utility, wherever it's going to go, when you take these out, then just keep them safe. What you could find in the future, that if you do ever move the machine, then you can just pop these back in. Sometimes it's not quite as easy as you think to put them back in. I've only had to do it a couple of times and it can be quite a challenge. But first of all, as far as you've got the waste connection, the bottom left here. The water connection is at the top right. You do get a new hose with it. We normally try and recommend to use a new hose, or if you are using extension hoses, so if you've got quite a long run to go to your water connection, if you're using your existing hose, then at least change the washer in the end. Take it from the new hose and pop it in there. At least that should reduce the chance of any leaks or any floods. Then you've got the mains connection. It's not the water, is it? That's the mains connection at the top left here.